This video examines the arguments developed in support of Karl Popper's philosophy of falsifiability and the subsequent evolution of the problem of distinguishing science from pseudoscience. Popper's defenders maintain that many criticisms result from an overly narrow or inaccurate interpretation of his ideas, particularly from treating falsifiability as a sufficient condition for scientific status. In fact, several passages suggest that Popper regarded falsifiability only as a necessary condition, and that scientific theories must also be subjected to additional critical tests whose negative results are taken seriously. David Miller argues that both Popper's demarcation problem and his response to the problem of induction have frequently been misunderstood. According to Miller, Popper did not primarily intend to classify entire fields as scientific or metaphysical, nor did he seek to prove that scientific beliefs possess an unshakable epistemic foundation. Instead, Popper's practical concern was to determine the conditions under which theories could be meaningfully assessed through critical appeals to experience. From this perspective, empirical investigation cannot positively establish or promote a hypothesis, but can expose its weaknesses and lead to its rejection when it conflicts appropriately with experience. A hypothesis may therefore remain provisionally accepted as long as it survives criticism, without its survival being interpreted as proof of its truth. John Watkins claimed that Popper's concepts of corroboration and verisimilitude introduce elements of justification and induction into critical rationalism. Watkins argues that choosing the best corroborated theory implies that we possess positive reasons for believing it to be closer to the truth than competing theories. Miloš Taliga rejects this interpretation, emphasizing that Popper considered assessments of truth-likeness to be conjectural judgments that could be defended critically but never conclusively justified. Watkins thus transforms Popper's negative and critical reasons for preferring a theory into positive reasons intended to establish its truth. Carl Hempel similarly challenges Watkins and stresses that Popper's criterion of falsifiability was not itself presented as a falsifiable empirical statement, but as a methodological proposal whose value should be judged according to its suitability for a particular purpose. Philosophers faced the difficult choice between preferring the most probable theory, the best corroborated theory, or the theory with the greatest explanatory and informational power. Methodological pluralism is a possible response, although each choice carries risks, such as weakening the empirical character of science or abandoning theories that may offer the best approximation to truth. Paul Thegard proposed that pseudoscience should be identified by its lack of long-term progress and by the failure of its supporters to acknowledge and solve persistent theoretical problems. Mario Bunge distinguished subjective faith areas from systematic research areas, while other philosophers proposed different criteria adapted to particular scientific disciplines. Larry Lorden argued that no necessary and sufficient criterion could encompass the diversity of scientific methods, and suggested replacing the science-pseudoscience distinction with the more useful distinction between reliable and unreliable knowledge. Nevertheless, later thinkers such as Sebastian Lutz defended the continuing relevance of demarcation through combinations of necessary and sufficient criteria, while the problem itself remains important in contemporary debates, resembling the effort to distinguish reliable information from false news.